everyone. Welcome to the joint webinar organized by Singapore Polytechnic, Singapore Business Federation, and JTC. In today's webinar, we will share with you how we are providing a guided, structured, and holistic platform to help companies accelerate in I 4.0 transformation. For the very first topic, we will be covering on the success drivers of I 4.0 transformation. I'm very pleased to invite Mr. Bo Wang from McKinsey to share this very first topic with you. Bo Wang, please.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Bo Wang. I'm Associate Partner from McKinsey, Singapore. In the next 15 minutes, I would like to take you through a success drivers for Industry 4.0. Hopefully, that will shed some light on how to get I 4.0 right. I'll touch three topics. Number one, I will take you through on what does success look like for Industry 4.0 transformation. Number two, we will reflect a little bit on the pain points and pitfalls for I 4.0 transformation. Number three, we will discuss what is the success recipe for sustainable and scalable I 4.0 transformation. Let's start with the first topic. First thing first, right? What does Industry 4.0 encompass? Industry 4.0 is typically categorized by four foundational technologies. Let me take you through. The first technology is connectivity, data, computational power. Right? What it means is that in your production floor, you have the sensors, you have the IoT, you have the cloud and technology that allows you to capture the production data in real time. So that's the first step. Now, the second step is now you have the data. What do you do with the data? This comes to the second foundational technology, analytics and intelligence. What it does is using data, coming up with the analytics to derive insights, which would lead to improvement opportunities. Number three, human-machine interactions, right, including VR, including robotics and automation. Number four, advanced engineering, right, including additive manufacturing, 3D printing, 4D printing, clean tech, etc. Now, these four foundational technologies, how do you use it? You apply across the value chain, end to end, all the way from customer insights, taking customer orders, to production development, to supplier network, to procurement, manufacturing, outbound supply chain, as well as customer service. Once you have that, and you're able to implement Industry 4.0 at scale. Of course, Industry 4.0 is helpful, whether the company is big or small, and whether your maturity level of the technology, I 4.0 can always add value. Right? Some of the numbers you can see are statistics we have seen, how Industry 4.0 can improve productivity across various sectors. All right, so here's one example of one particular sectors, right? Biopharma companies. They're able to leverage impact. They're able to leverage Industry 4.0 across the whole value chain in order to achieve significant impact, right? All the way from productivity as well as from engaging the customers better. So going beyond productivity gain through I 4.0 transformation, to get it right, to get it sustainable, and to get it at scale at the national level, it requires significant effort to reskill millions of people. Our research have indicated that globally, in the next 10 years, we would need 2.7 billion people to be upskilled. And this also includes both advanced economies as well as developing countries. Now, what's stopping companies from achieving Industry 4.0 success? Typically, companies get stuck in what we call a pilot trap, right? Pilot trap means that, there are a lot of effort, use cases are done at the pilot, but not able to scale beyond the pilot. Then how do we then get it right? Our view of Industry 4.0 transformation comes into the following. We believe that there are 5 major stages of getting Industry 4.0 transformation right. The step 1 is broader awareness across the company. Step 2 is running successful pilots to gain experience, to gain confidence. Step 3, having a comprehensive implementation plan. Step 4, scaling up the Industry 4.0 implementation across your shop floor, across your value chain. Step 5, clearly not the least important one, but actually the most important one, is to sustain this new way of working, sustain the impact that's coming off Industry 4.0, and renew the Industry 4.0 transformation periodically. Across these 5 stages, right, there are many pain points that we have seen companies have come through. Right? One example, right, could be, let's take an example of the first step. In terms of awareness, many of our companies, right, they're not able to link the IoT solutions to business value creation. In terms of technology, they do not have enough knowledge about the technology. They have trouble navigating the ecosystem. In terms of organization, there's a limitation in the way they think about human capital. What sort of talents are needed? What sort of skill gaps are needed in order to push for Industry 4.0 transformation? And some of the quotes maybe I would like to highlight also. These are the quotes that we picked up when we were interacting with many of the companies. Software director for electronics manufacturer, right? He said, we have all this data, but we don't know what to do with it. Right? So that reflects a little bit about, capturing data is definitely not everything about Industry 4.0. It's not even the start of Industry 4.0. You need to have a strategy to link why you need to track this data, what data is needed in order to show the improvement area that would create value. Second quote, operations manager for a precision engineering company. My team struggles to find the right solutions to fit our needs. Right? So that also reflects a little bit about companies struggling to find the right technology needs. They probably know what they need, but they're not able to find the right solution partners to develop the right IoT use cases. Last quote, a particular owner of a food manufacturing company. I find it challenging to convince my workers to embrace technology. Right? What it really implies is implementing Industry 4.0 requires a change of way of working. And clearly many of the companies, some of the companies are having a little bit, more mature workforce, right? Companies that we have seen in Singapore in particular. How do you then convince the workers to embrace new technologies, to challenge themselves, to learn something new, to change the way of working? That is really the hard core of sustainable Industry 4.0 transformation. With various challenges, there are also companies who have done it well and done it right. Some of the companies are actually the 90 over lighthouse, I4.0 lighthouse organizations. These lighthouses are a joint effort between McKinsey as a knowledge partner with World Economic Forum. And these factories across the globe have really indicated how I4.0 can be implemented at scale and sustainably. Beyond productivity gain that these lighthouses are implementing Industry 4.0, companies are also shifting focus from productivity gain to unlocking operation to drive growth, as well as capturing sustainability improvement. As you can see from here, there are increased number of companies that are leveraging Industry 4.0 to enable growth. If you look at the blue bar, right, on the left, right, over 50% of the companies have increased output, and there's also a new revenue stream that will be unlocked, right? 35% of the companies are able to drive growth together with increased output and new revenue stream. Over 90% of the lighthouses are driving growth through scaling Industry 4.0, right? They are doing so through 3 levers. Number 1, increased output through unlocking capacity. Number 2, generating new revenue streams through a quicker time to market for new products. Number 3, new revenue streams from increased flexibility or agility that allows customers to have the right product at the right time. At the same time, we also see an increased number of lighthouses are actually going into sustainability. You look at the chart on the right. Over 60% of the lighthouses are driving sustainability gain through Industry 4.0. at the same time achieving productivity gain. And many of the use cases that directly drive sustainability are coming from an example of sensorizing your shop floor and visualizing your energy consumption. Digital twin that monitors the equipment usage and energy consumption or water consumption, as well as advanced analytics driven optimization of resource consumption. Why these companies get it right? What is the success recipe? I wanted to spend a bit of time to elaborate, right, the transformation approach that we have adopted and we have also encouraged companies to adopt is what we call a triple transformation. As you can see here on the left-hand side, you have 3 bubbles of different colors and meaning. I'll take you through. Start from the top circle, the little bubble, a little bulb, right? What it means is actually a business, right? Second, on the green bottom right circle is technology. On the left bottom is the orange is organization, right? For simplicity, let's call this BTO recipe. B is business value, right? We advocate the companies to shift from a technology-centric approach when it comes down to identify use cases to a value-centric use case. It always comes back to say, how do I justify the return on investment? You need that solid return on investment business case in order to prioritize which area to work on. Second is technology transformation. It has 2 little elements there, right? Number one is you're able to have broadened the collaboration with technology ecosystem. Number 2 is you need to think about your IoT, your data infrastructure. How do you make sure that your IoT backbone is not a bottleneck for you to scale up? Number 3, organization transformation. It covers the following element. Broadly within your company, right, you need to think about what are the expertise that you need in order to reskill and resource your transformation team and mobilize and enable your workforce to adapt to changes. Number 2, I 4.0 transformation agenda is never an IT department's initiative. It has to come from the top. It's a top management's agenda. Change story is needed to get your organization excited, as well as mobilizing your full organization to understand why there is a change through Industry 4.0 adoption. So the title of this section is Success Drivers. Right? So this slide really indicates the success recipe for the success drivers. Let me recap. It's really on B, T, and O. Business, technology, and organization. I would like to wrap up this talk with the following 4 takeaways. Right? Number 1, Industry 4.0 is real and it can have significant impact to allow companies to remain competitive in the market through productivity gain, through unlocking growth, through sustainability improvement. Number 2, implementation remains as a challenge. More than 70% of the companies are stuck in pilot trap. Number 3, success is still possible with more than 100 lighthouse factories around the world. They have successfully implemented Industry 4.0 at scale. Number 4, the success recipe is triple transformation, focusing on B, T, and O, business, technology, and organization. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thank you.
A very warm welcome. My name is William from the Singapore Business Federation, and it will be my pleasure to take you over for the next segment for about 15 minutes to talk about mindset transformation. Well, I'll be covering the initial part, then thereafter my colleague Rachel from the Singapore Polytechnic will be covering the next segment. Okay, allow me to cover a bit more about the Industry 4.0 Human Capital Initiative, or IHCI, and how it hopes to catalyze mindset transformation. Now, IHCI has been around since March 2020 last year. And I think if those of you who have been following the press, you will notice that there has been quite a lot of mention about the need for companies to transform, especially those in the manufacturing industry. So I believe this slide over here, as well as the announcement by Minister Chan Chun Sing, that when he was still the Minister for Trade and Industry, is probably familiar to everyone. So I think back in January 2021, he announced a 10-year plan to grow the manufacturing sector within Singapore by 50% over the next 10 years. Now, I won't elaborate too much about this slide in terms of what it encompasses, and I won't elaborate on the three thrusts that he expounded on in the plan. But I think suffice to say that Industry 4.0 is one of the main thrusts in which we can help the manufacturing companies to really innovate, to really future-proof themselves over the next 10 years. Bringing it home one level deeper, if you take a look at the ISCI, it has been quite evidently profiled in the media over the last about four months or so. So I think what I've done over here, I put up snapshots on I think some of the mentions by various political office holders after they visited a few of the companies. So I think if you take a look on the extreme right, there's a quote by our DPM Heng Swee Kit after a visit to Completion Products, who is one of the companies on board the program. There's also a similar quote, but on a different company, by Manpower Minister Tan See Leng when he visited Superfoods or the Soup Spoon, for those of you who are not familiar. Okay, allow me to take you through this next slide, which really talks about the framework that we've put together in place together with Workforce Singapore, who is the program owner behind the ISCI. Now, when we designed the ISCI together with WSG about 2 years back, the key question we asked ourselves was, what is the framework that we can put together and the resources that we can marshal to really help our manufacturing companies start or accelerate their I4.0 transformation process? So looking at what McKinsey had accomplished as well as developed in their work with the World Economic Forum for the Global Lighthouse Network, we decided to adopt the triple transformation framework, looking at business, technology, and transformation. And I think Boo earlier mentioned a lot about how these three stacks are about, as well as how to interplay with each other. But I think in essence, the approach that we wanted to push out for ISCI is to really go out with a message to companies for them to really learn that business transformation has to happen in tandem with both technology and organization. And you cannot do one without the other, or do two without the other for that matter. And for companies to really succeed in the long term, you need to examine all three factors, and you cannot leave one apart. So to do that, what we did in the ISCI was to put together three elements to really help companies prepare, implement, and sustain their I4.0 transformation. So again, if you look at the 5-stage process that Bo shared earlier, moving companies all the way from initial awareness to pilot to the planning stage, scaling, and sustaining, what we did was to put in place three prongs to really help companies start the journey, sustain the journey by themselves over a 1-year period. So the ISCI consists of the first part, a 6 to 8 week pilot phase, where the company will work with consultants like McKinsey and EY to really go through 4 steps, including building awareness, not just at the senior management level, but also at the shop floor frontline staff. And of course, working together with both frontline staff as well as management team to co-build, co-design, and co-roll out IoT solutions, and to really see it for the companies themselves, how transformation can be effective and how it can secure the buy-in of the frontline employees. And this will all accumulate in a DIY or do-it-yourself roadmap, where the company at the end of the 6 to 8 week pilot will have a very well-structured roadmap that they can use to really roll out over the longer term. The 6 to 8 week pilot isn't just the only prong in the ISCI. The other area that we have rolled out over the last 1 year is to put in place a community of practice. This is really with the aspiration to plug companies who have gone through the program into the larger ecosystem in terms of helping them be connected to resources as well as knowledge partners who can help them in meeting their I4.0 transformation across various areas. Could be in scaling up specific use cases. It could be augmenting human capital aspects in various areas, like for example, job redesign, performance and management, and the list goes on. The last prong that we put together is through a self-help portal in which we avail a ton of free online resources, including close to 40 use cases, spanning technology, spanning human capital, for companies to take these resources back in-house and to really examine and use these resources as a reference in rolling out the transformation by themselves. First, let me take the next 1 minute or so to really share a bit more about the Enabler program. So as I mentioned, it covers 4 main stages. So the initial phase where we talk about awareness building, it doesn't just begin or end with the middle management. The key thing that we do differently over here is to bring in 2 groups of stakeholders within the company, the operations lead as well as the HR lead. We bring these 2 groups together with the senior management team into a boot camp where McKinsey and EY will spend time talking about triple transformation framework and how to bring this back into a company and roll it out. The next phase, which will involve the frontline staff, it really will focus on co-building IoT solutions to be rolled out at the shop floor. So I think there are quite a few areas over here which I will expound on shortly. But I think it really talks about helping businesses make sense about how IoT 4.0 can derive business value when rolled out in the right direction and in the right use case. The second part is really about where to deploy IoT. So I guess in a company, if you look at the different pain points, there are a range of pain points. It does not make sense for the company to tackle every single one of these pain points. So the key question is, which pain point should I target and where should I deploy these IoT solutions so as to achieve the maximum odds of success? And this will be the next stage that will be involved. The next 2 parts really talk about winning hearts and minds at the shop floor, educating companies what is the IoT pilot about, co-working with them to really identify bottlenecks that they face, and designing the solutions, the IoT solutions, to fit the needs of the shop floor challenges. And the last part will be working with HR to roll out what we term as a human capital diagnostic toolkit to assess the different human resource gaps as well as best practices in the organization, as well as how this can be augmented to allow the company to push forward. See itself, it's, an abbreviation for see it yourself. So this again consists of 5 main parts. So after the IoT solutions have been deployed, the shop floor operators as well as McKinsey will work together to monitor and capture data that will be plugged into a tracking mechanism. From there, the data collected over a 3 to 4 week period will then allow for the operations team, together with the consulting team, to really prioritize loss drivers that affect productivity and co-design interventions that will allow for the productivity gap to be closed. To accompany the rollout of the IoT trial, what happens also is that the consultants from EY will work hand in hand with the human resource team within the company to look at redesigning a few key roles that will be impacted should the solution scale up over a period of time. This will allow the company to future-proof itself by enabling the workforce to be equipped with the right skills and the right competencies to support the IoT 4.0 rollout in time to come. The last part which will be done will be what we call a CV assessment or a Smart Industry Readiness Index assessment that is being commissioned by the Economic Development Board, or EDB, which will map out the different IoT 4.0 value drivers as well as strengths within the organization. So this entire 3 to 6 week period will then culminate with a do-it-yourself roadmap where the consultant, together with the company management team, will then do up a roadmap to identify ways in which they can scale up the IoT 4.0 journey, as well as different IoT solutions that can be rolled out, as well as additional interventions from a human capital angle, which can be rolled out to ensure that the staff remain on board for the IoT 4.0 journey. Over the course of the last 2 years, we have worked with more than 100 companies across 10 diverse manufacturing sectors in helping them achieve productivity gains. The biggest share of companies on board the program would be precision engineering, which I guess would be no surprise, given that I think for precision engineering itself, it encompasses a lot of machine shops, which will then be able to utilize the ISCI to drive asset productivity and efficiency. The next 2 segments that really have benefited will be engineering services as well as food manufacturing, of which we have various use cases, spanning a mix of asset efficiency to labor productivity to inventory management and quality, among other use cases. Some of the other segments that we have worked with over the last 2 years also include sectors like energy and chemicals, marine and offshore, wholesale trade, electronics, logistics, and semiconductors. Over the course of working with these 100-odd companies, what we realized was that if we look at defining archetypes, we have a total of around 7 different archetypes that we have worked with over the course of this program. Companies across the different manufacturing sectors, they face different pain points, both within the sector itself and I guess across companies. No one company is similar in terms of pain points that they have to address, even when compared to their peers within the same industry. So to do that, we take a very customized approach in working together with the companies to really identify which stage of the I4.0 journey they are at, what is their pain point, and how can we tailor the ICI to suit their needs. The slide over here provides an overview of the 7 archetypes that we have worked with companies over the last 2 years. And I think if you look at the 2 leftmost columns, this will be the 2 main pain points that we have really helped companies to unlock value. And those will really be in the area of asset efficiency as well as labor productivity. But of course, beside these 2 areas, we have worked with a range of companies to address other things, like for example, optimizing or streamlining inventory, or even improving quality management. So over here, what I've done in this slide will be to put together a couple of videos to give a bit more of a sneak peek in terms of what companies go through in the program as well as how they've benefited. So perhaps let me then take this segment to play the 2 embedded videos within this presentation.
At the start, we had very little visibility on our project completion progress. So we piloted the IoT solution to track and find ways to improve our processes. Eventually, we identified a potential of 35% increase in labor productivity. To carry on forward in our Industry 4.0 journey, we went on to develop a customized solution in-house and integrated it into our own systems.
Using simple Industry 4.0 solutions, we learned different ways to collect and analyze data and identified ways to reduce quality defects by 44%. We recognized our people need to be upskilled on topics such as data analytics to support the direction we are looking towards. Looking back on our journey, I find the Enabler program takes on a practical and holistic approach to Industry 4.0 adoption. The Watson EP team got a meaningful experience of what successful transformation could look like, and we are now well equipped to push forward.
Well, I hope those 2 videos provide you a sense of the experience that companies go through over the 6 to 8 week Enabler program. Of course, these are not the only success stories that we have. We have actually uploaded a bunch of other success stories on our ICI website, of which, for those who are interested, you may refer to the website via the web link that you see on this slide. The second trust, which I was sharing about, is on the community of practice that we plug our companies in the Enabler program into after they have completed or graduated from the program. The reason why we do this is because we realize that companies, they need support after the initial pilot, and this support has to come in 2 ways. The first way is really in terms of leveraging a community of practice to inspire peer-to-peer learning, as well as exchange of best practices among the companies. So companies in the same sector can learn from their peers who have gone through the journey. And likewise, even across different sectors, there will be nuggets of knowledge, nuggets of wisdom, which can then apply also for companies across sectors in examining the I4.0 journey of their peers in other areas. The second component of the COP is really about putting in place curated technology pathways that help the companies to increase the odds of I4.0 implementation. So if I may focus your attention on the leftmost portion of the slide, if you take a look at the statistics over here, I think in terms of digital transformation, what happens is that in terms of the traditional companies, the chance of success has always been lower, about 8%, if you will. This is a noticeable gap if you look at the odds of success in terms of general transformation, where about 30% of companies, including the MNCs, are able to sustain the transformation process after the initial pilot. The COP that we have put in place over here hopes to flip the odds of success for the traditional companies by bringing them from 8% to 30% or even more. And the way we do so is through the two elements that I shared earlier, peer-to-peer learning and putting in place curated pathways. To give you a sense of the different curated pathways that we have put in place, we have mapped these pathways to the different drivers that we shared earlier across the BTO framework, business, technology, and organization. So in terms of technology, or the technology track, COP pathways could include a suite of technology solutions to target very specific use cases. Like, for example, working together with solution providers on DPE solutions, on driving digital performance engines within the organization. Or it could also include things like a manufacturing execution system, or even more sophisticated use cases, like, for example, digital twin or additive manufacturing. This is not the only range of pathways that we've put together. We've also worked with some of our human capital partners to put in place learning pathways to help companies increase the level of capability building from the human capital angle. And this we have done together with partners like SNAF, IHRP, or the Institute of Human Resource Professionals, as well as Singapore Poly. To give one example of a technology pathway, to provide a bit more context, is not to say that the company can just leave everything to the solution provider or consultant to really run the pathway in isolation. But I think over here, what is developed is that there is equal co-ownership between the company as well as the COP vendors in terms of co-designing a journey over a certain period of time, in this case, 12 months. The duration can vary, could be 6 months, could be 8 months, but the idea of shared co-ownership remains the same. So what these pathways hope to do is to enable the companies to slowly build up their internal capability as well as resources in terms of becoming familiar with these technology pathways and being able to secure buy-in from internal management and stakeholders before a rollout proper. And thereafter, at the end of the pathway, the hope and aspiration is then for the ICI companies to really continue the journey with whichever use case providers that they are exploring. Let me then cover a bit more about the final segment, which really talks about costing. The ICI program is heavily subsidized by the Workforce Singapore, and companies need only pay the net program fee in terms of enrolling the program. The original cost fee in terms of unsubsidized rate is about 63,000 thereabouts. The arrangement that we have together with Workforce Singapore is to bill only the net fee. And how that works out for the SMEs would be $6,325 upfront payment, or a subsidy rate of 90%. For the non-SMEs, meaning to say the MNCs, as well as the large local enterprises, the outlay would be a little different, with the funding being 30%. That translates to an upfront payment of $18,975. Companies that go through and complete the program, of course, will be eligible for the SkillsFuture Enterprise Credit Grant, where they can further defray the upfront fee to as low as $600 for SMEs, as well as for the non-SMEs to close to about $9,000. One of the key things that I wanted to spotlight a little more will be our collaboration with the Singapore Poly as a strategic partner to really build up the base of companies who have gone through the ICI. So Singapore Poly is one of the COP partners that I shared about earlier. And how we work with them is to co-design and integrate a journey that will help companies implement digital transformation for not just the business itself, but also integrating the workforce. So the aspiration that we have in mind together with Singapore Poly is that companies after the ICI, they will then follow on with the Singapore Polytechnic for a range of other initiatives, which my colleague Rachel will be sharing more on. And that will cover 4 main areas. The first area on advanced manufacturing learning journey, where companies will be able to be exposed to different use cases on site at Singapore Poly's advanced manufacturing learning journey facilities. The second part is really about helping the companies build in-house competency and capability through the company and workforce transformation package that Singapore Poly has put in place. The fourth one is really about putting in place salary support and helping these job redesign profiles be upskilled through the Career Conversion Program, or CCP, for Industry 4.0 professionals, executives, and associates, which is being managed by the Singapore Poly PACE team as well. There's also a last area where Singapore Poly can work with the companies that go through the ICI to look at how to help their workforce in terms of workforce digitalization, which I will leave to my colleagues from the Singapore Polytechnic to share more on. Well, I will just close up with this by inviting everyone to access the self-help portal that we have, of which the QR code can be accessed on the right. For those of you who are interested to know where you stand in terms of the I4.0 journey, we do have prepared a quiz together with McKinsey to look at some of the use cases as well as where you stand. So for those who are game, you may access it through the quiz. And in the event where McKinsey is able to assist you for your next phase of the journey, what we'll do is we'll schedule a free clinic session to help you. Well, it has been an enjoyable time speaking with yourselves. I've come to the end of my presentation, and I will hand over to the next speaker from Singapore Poly to share more.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel from Singapore Polytechnic. As in with any I4.0 transformation, it is very important that the leaders of the companies have a mindset transformation first. They must first see the importance of I4.0 technologies and how they can benefit the companies. We are very pleased to share with you, we have a specific program called AM Lead that is meant for senior leaders of manufacturing companies. It is jointly organized by the Singapore Polytechnic and Bosch Restaurant. In this particular program, we bring senior leaders to Germany where they actually walk through Bosch Restaurant production plants and they get to see the different I4.0 technologies in action. Not only do they get to see the benefits and the live applications of these technologies, they can also network with the leaders of these plants to find out more from them on some of the best global practices of I4.0. We are very happy to share with you that when you go on this trip, you can look forward to understanding and seeing how these different technologies are put into action. Well, after the trip, Singapore Polytechnic will then follow up with the companies on some programs to help them transit towards I4.0 implementation. And these programs consist of not just training programs, but as well as consultancy projects that we can have the company take up with us. These are some good testimonials that are being put up by the participants of the AM Lead program. As you can see, many of them benefited from this particular program because they get to see I4.0 in action. Well, you can see many happy faces in this particular AM Lead past trip. And right now we will show you a particular video to hear some of the testimonials of these participants.
How do I implement this IoT for? How does it benefit me?
The trip was very enriching for me.
Very encouraging signs, right, for SMEs to get together.
Integrating everything together, and that is more holistic.
I think there's a chance to work together to implement this IoT 4.0.
Just before I came for this trip, I do have some expectation to learn about I 4.0,
And the outcome after this few days is that the experience has really exceeded my expectation.
I think this trip certainly has enhanced the knowledge that we have in this area, and I think it really helps that we have the opportunity to see firsthand for ourselves how this thing has been rolled out, how it works.
You have a platform, a software platform that integrate all the sensors together and to show the software seamlessly.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful that we have the opportunity to interact with so many different people of different backgrounds, different capabilities, and achievements in their lives. So it's a good experience for me as a second-generation business owner, and that I am inspired to work harder so that I can achieve things that you guys have already experienced before.
Your plans have impressed me, to be honest.
Learning Industry 4.0 is definitely an eye-opener for me.
With digitalization and having the right workflows, I think it will make it will make the management's job easier in terms of making certain decisions.
I actually would like to open up a chance that we can actually visit each other company to actually see more of a follow-up.
Nothing's beat seeing the actual thing being implemented on the ground.
I come from a background of SME, from a company of 50. Up to now, I stay in the company. We have risen to about 250.
We're always looking for new technology where it can help us to sort of differentiate ourselves from the rest of the integrator.
Achieving something that large corporations are already adopting.
You are one step ahead of other people. People being the key player.
We want to see what are the technology available in the market.
In the coming 2 years, I will implement some of these ideas, okay?
SMEs shouldn't have the mindset to think that they're too small to achieve things that are already available in the market.
Now, you may be interested to find out how much does it cost for this particular program. We're very happy to share with you, if you are a Singaporean aged below 40 or a PR, you only need to pay $2,849.84. This amount will help cover not just the meals, but the logistics of the trip. And if you are a Singapore citizen aged 40 and above, you only need to pay $1,000 and $74.24. This pricing is extremely attractive. Happy to share with you that for the registration, it is open to senior leaders of local companies of various sectors, ranging from aerospace, precision, to food manufacturing. The senior leaders of this company just needs to submit documentary evidence of the leadership position, and 1 to 2 reps per company is allowed to participate in this program. A short write-up of a company's plan towards advanced manufacturing is also key as part of the evaluation and selection process. So we welcome companies that are keen to join this program to register for it at the last stage of this particular webinar. Next, I would like to share with you an advanced manufacturing learning journey that is held locally in Singapore Polytechnic premise. In this advanced manufacturing learning journey, which is held locally in Singapore Polytechnic's premise, we divide into 3 zones of experience. The first zone is on digitalization, which showcases standalone machines where we improve productivity through visibility. In the second zone, we focus on integrating multiple machines together, where we show productivity through flexibility. And in the last zone, we call it the smart zone, where we integrate the system with data-driven intelligence. So if you're looking forward to having your people understand I 4.0 technologies in an easy way, understanding the applications and the benefits, this particular local advanced manufacturing journey is something that you can look forward to. Next, I will cover about skill set transformation. In I 4.0 transformation, people and processes gain precedence over technology adoption. We can't emphasize more than the fact that human capital is at the central or the core of I 4.0 transformation. So allow us to share with you on SP's Company and Workforce Transformation Program. When we talk to many companies, most of them will share that they understand the benefits of I 4.0, but often they face challenges on how to move forward, such as where do I begin? What should I focus on that will create business value and impact for my company? And how do I go about doing it? Digital transformation is not always easy because it starts with the mindset and vision of the leadership. And the complexity is also compounded by the fact that digital transformation differs from company to company. There is no one size fits all. And oftentimes we need to look at the internal organization, the people and the processes as we look at I 4.0 transformation. And more than that, we have to look at the whole supply chain from the suppliers all the way to the customers, relations and experiences. Whilst a lot of companies see and are convinced by the benefits of digital transformation, which are some of these outcomes that we can look forward to: increased profits, competitiveness, and ability to combat rising costs. Many of them are looking for a guided, structured, and holistic support in helping them move towards digital transformation. So we're very happy to share with you, Singapore Polytechnic has this particular program, Company and Workforce Transformation Program, that provides this exact help to companies. Now, this particular program is co-designed with 11 companies and it is sector agnostic. It is specially designed to help unleash transformation within 20 days. In this particular program, we focus on business strategy, transformation, process, redesign, technology, adoption, as well as workforce transformation in the areas of HR process improvement, job redesign, training needs analysis, and workplace training. And how do we operationalize this? It is done through project-based training, which, in summary, it is solutioning plus training. This is the most optimal form of implementation in most instances. In the past, if we just look at having a consultant coming in to provide the solutioning implementation, the challenge is when he walks away, the employees of the organization is still left with zero-level skills. If we swing to the extreme, where we just simply provide training to an employee and we send him back to his workplace to do the transformation work himself, he may get into some challenges as he go about doing it. So Singapore Polytechnic has put in place this framework where we combine both solutioning and training together. What this means is that we will send in our trainer come consultant to go into your company to do the solutioning, but through that solutioning that we perform, we will train your employees how that solution is being carried out. So this is a very wonderful and powerful way of transforming your company towards I 4.0. Allow me to share with you some of the programs in place. But before we do that, I'm very happy to share with you that Singapore Polytechnic conducts a complimentary clinic session for companies before having them embark on this CWT program. In this 1.5 hour complimentary clinic session, which is performed by our skilled trainers, come consultants, they will seek to understand what are some of your current pain points that you are facing. what are some of the operational challenges that you want to resolve, and what are your company's strategic objectives and aspirations. From there, they will identify the gaps and they will then advise what could be some of the programs your company could consider taking up. In this slide, we have a whole suite of programs that we have put together to help companies transform in a guided and structured form. So beginning with the first program, we have Business Needs Analysis, which is a program very suitable for a company that says, I do not know where to start. Please help me and guide me. We also have another program called Operation and Technology Road Mapping that helps companies map up a technology roadmap plan for the next 3 to 5 years, what to focus on and how to go about achieving those goals. For companies that are looking at digital transformation, we often encourage them to first look at process improvement. So we have a program on that looked at manufacturing productivity optimization through process improvement. And next, we have a program that specifically look at digital transformation, where we advise companies and help them come up with solutions, recommending to them different integrated solutions for specific problem statements. By taking this program, not only will the company be able to have recommendation on the digital transformation solution to consider, we will also help the company apply for relevance grants, which is something very, very helpful to companies. And then next, we have different data-related programs ranging from data discovery to data visualization and data analytics. If your company is looking at having a data visualization solution, say at your manufacturing floor, then data visualization program is one that is very helpful. Next, we also have project management program where we help companies manage a project, a technical project that they may not know how to. This is where they will learn different project management skills such as agile or waterfall methodologies. We're also very happy to share with you, under workforce transformation, we have various programs to help companies in their transformation journey. For example, we have process improvement in different HR areas. When a company is transforming towards I 4.0, often they need to look at talent management, talent attraction, performance management. So this is one good program that you can consider taking up. Next, when a company is disrupted by technology, often certain job roles need to be redesigned or enhanced. So we're happy to share with you, we have a job redesign program. And next, we have training needs analysis, which is a program to help companies design a very detailed organization skills map so that your organization is empowered to know what are the relevant skills that are required by the different job roles. And for companies that are looking at guiding your supervisors or managers on how to design a blueprint, then workplace training and assessment is a very helpful program. We also have programs that are meant for the construction sectors to help companies adopt BIM, the use of BIM. So if you're interested in these programs, this can be for your consideration. Now, this particular CWT program benefits companies in multiple ways. Your staff will feel empowered. Your company will feel empowered as well because the solutions that are being offered are contextualized to your company's needs. Next, you also notice that in this program, not only do we look at the solutioning, but we combine it with using that solution implementation to train your employees. So there is this very key components of employee capability development as well. And when your employees are being developed in terms of capability, it also creates sustainable transformation within your organization. We're very happy to share with you, we have experienced trainers, all right, that have been involved in helping companies in deep transformation work to work with you on this particular program. And we are happy to share with you our key collaborators are these. And this testifies to the credibility of this program. We are very happy to share with you in our CWT version 1, we have impacted 58 manufacturing and construction companies. Fong's Engineering is one of our key clients. And let's take a look at what Fong Engineering has to share with us on CWT program.
Our future vision is to digitalize the whole entire workplace and our business by leveraging on Industry 4.0 technologies and training for our workers. All right, we engage with SP Singapore Polytechnic. Fong's Engineering and Manufacturing was embarking on Industry 4.0 to improve productivity in 2018. The technological transformation that took place was rapid. And we felt that what is central to the transformation is our people. We wanted to ensure our people's training and development needs are carefully looked into. SP program performs a comprehensive training needs analysis and develop a training roadmap for our employees. This helps us gain good visibility on how to develop and retain talents with relevant skill future of Worker 4.0. We highly recommend this program to other companies that are seeking to do likewise.
The micro-learning course on advanced manufacturing can raise good awareness in terms of benefit and applications of Industry 4.0 technologies. Through this exposure, it is easy for one to understand how I 4.0 can help company improve productivity and stay competitive. The course is designed such that the participant can learn in a short burst of 5 to 15 minutes. The content is engaging. The participant can learn conveniently at any time, anywhere. For shop floor workers, they also have the flexibility to learn in English or Mandarin.
In Fong's Engineering, the Train the Trainer workshops equip me with coaching techniques that are useful, those that play in a supervisory role. In a manufacturing environment, we need to ensure shop floor workers follow technical production processes. So having coaching skills is definitely useful. So this on-the-job competencies roadmap allow us to navigate through and to ensure that our job functions more efficiently and effectively.
At this stage, if you are very keen to have a complimentary clinic session conducted by our trainer cum consultant, please register your interest here. In this same form, you can also indicate your interest for the AM Lead program and the local-based advanced manufacturing learning journey that I shared about. I'm very happy to wrap up my sharing here, and we look forward to meeting you through this clinic session to learn more about how we can journey with your company forward. Thank you. For the next segment, I shall hand the time over to my colleague Edmund Tan from PACE Academy, who will share with you more about the Career Conversion Program.
Hey, hi, this is Edmund from SP PACE Academy. Today I'll be sharing how SP can journey with you in your company I4.0 workforce transformation to Career Conversion Program, or in short, CCP. In the next 5 minutes or so, we will be covering company and workforce transformation, program structure, funding scheme with illustration, and as well as criteria to come on board the CCP program. While going through company transformation, many will face or experience pain points. But some of the common pain points are high cost to adopt new technology and train employees, change management, in terms of difficulty to get employees to embrace changes in technologies and culture, as well as a lack of overall strategic implementation. Right. Furthermore, company will need to invest or enhance their network and data from cyber attack. One of the main skills gap will be the workers to shift to automation and analytics. Okay. However, through workforce transformation, we are able to overcome some of the pain points mentioned earlier. Workforce transformation is one of the key success factors to company transformation, as it leads to higher productivity, it retains and attracts talents, it makes your employee more future ready, and it improves customer experience. So how do we get employees to be ready alongside with company transformation? SP is here to support you in your company transformation through JR Reskilling Career Conversion Program for I4.0 Professional, Executive, and Associate. The CCP for I4.0 Professional is for company undergoing business transformation with existing employee who are undergoing job redesign to take on higher value I4.0 related jobs, and or new employees hired to take on I4.0 related jobs in the manufacturing sector. Next, my colleagues will bring you through the program structure.
Thank you, Edmund, and I'm Wei Ling from Singapore Polytechnic PACE Academy. And moving on, we'll actually be covering the program structure for the CCP for I4.0 professionals, executives, and associates. This program actually targets the following job roles. That would be the assistant engineer, manufacturing specialist, technician, or any other manufacturing-related job roles that are undergoing redesign. This program actually makes up of 3 core modules, 2 elective modules from a basket of modules that Singapore Polytechnic offers in the areas of technology, data analytics, digital tools, and many others. And there will be a 3-month on-the-job training at the workplace, and with that, there will be a salary support of up to 3 months for the participants. Okay, and now we'll actually dive deeper into the program structure of the CCP for I4.0. There will be 3 core modules. The first will be the mindset transformation for the workplace, which is a 1-day course which covers the mindset transformation and also for the employees to embrace changes with the upcoming business transformation in the company. The second core module will be Introduction to Advanced Manufacturing. It is a 1-day e-learning where the employees will be given an e-learning account and access the materials to learn more about some of the advanced manufacturing new technologies. There will be 2 elective modules where the company and the subject matter expert will work together and will actually introduce some elective modules that complements the I4.0 implementation in the company. With what the participants have learned in the core modules and elective modules, SP will actually start on a project-based workplace learning in manufacturing with the company, with a 16 hours mentoring and project scope for the participants to actually apply what they have learned in the core module and elective module to the actual company transformation. And with that, there will be also a 3-month on-the-job training where the employees will actually embark on this OJT to learn more about the transformation that is currently happening in the company. And next, it will be the funding schemes to support companies with this CCP for I4.0. For existing employees that are actually taking part in this I4.0 CCP, there will be cost fee funding. For cost fee funding for SMEs and Singapore citizens aged 40 and above, it will be up to 90% of the cost fee. For non-SME and Singapore citizens aged below 40 and all Singapore PRs, it will be up to 70% of the cost fee that will be funded. There will also be salary support for the employees when they are undergoing this CCP. For existing professionals, managers, executives, and technicians, the PMAT, it will be 70% capped at 4,000 for Singapore citizens aged 40 and below, and SPRs. It will be 90% capped at 6,000 for Singapore citizens aged 40 and above. For existing associates, which are the rank and file, it will be 70% capped at 2,000 for Singapore citizens aged below 40 and Singapore PRs, and 90% capped at 3,000 for Singapore citizens aged 40 and above. Similarly, for new hires, there will also be salary support for them, and it will be 6 months instead of 3 months. For illustration purpose, we actually have John, who's an assistant engineer in an SME company in Singapore. So John is actually 45 years old, a Singapore citizen, matured worker with a monthly salary of 4,000. With the 3 core modules, 2 electives, and OJT that we have recommended, the total cost fee will be 5,917.1 for John. But after the 90% subsidy, the company only has to pay 669.13. The monthly salary for John is 4,000. So with the 90% CCP salary support for the 3 months, company will get 3,600 for the 3 months period. And in net, the company only needs to pay John $400 per month for the 3 months when he is undergoing the CCP. For the eligibility criteria, it will be for company registered or incorporated in Singapore, and the participants must be Singapore citizen or permanent resident. The participants must be existing workers undergoing reskilling and job redesign to take on higher value I4.0 related jobs, or for new hires undergoing skills conversion to take on this new I4.0 related job. The company must be undergoing business transformation, and there will be workforce transformation plan detailing the redesign in job roles. So for this CCP, some of the documents needed for the application, as mentioned earlier, due to the job redesign in the application form, the job title, job description, current salary, as well as the new job title, new job description, and new salary must be included into the application form. The business transformation plan and write-up will also be included in the application form. And the company must submit OJT plan for each job role and also the CCP application declaration form. And with that, I have ended my presentation. Thank you everyone, and Singapore Polytechnic is welcoming everyone to join us in this journey to I4.0. You can register your interest here if you're interested in this I4.0 CCP, and we will contact you to explain more details of this CCP and how Singapore Polytechnic can support you for this I4.0 journey. So thank you everyone for joining us in this presentation. Thank you so much for everyone's time. We are thankful for your presence, and we hope you find this webinar extremely useful. If you're interested in any of the programs, please do not hesitate to contact us. We will be very pleased to provide further assistance to you. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and have a good day.